Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Any voice? Hello, any voices? Yeah, because just now suddenly the connection to the stream is not so fluent and suddenly it jammed. So I have to just use another link. Hello, 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 hello. And hope you can help me to check. Yeah, help me. Hope that you can hear my voice because just now there's really no voice there and no connection there. Okay, so can you hear? Oh, we can hear. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, hope it's recovered. I hope that it's recovered. Yeah. Just now we've talked about the drawer and if you want to really want to have some issue related to these okay panels, you can not only just change but also you'd better use the what we talked about is the for example the those parametric editor. You use the parametric editor and try to put that okay, and also using the internal like this. Yeah. And you can try to use the internal design internal zone, try to put it in with different element. It's waiting here. Just remember, if you want to find a similar element, you can try this concave. And also, if you directly use some of the models, you see here, it's really jammed. Jammed here. If you happen to see this, you can try to control with some certain data to change. And also, if you want, you can select part. Yeah, here, select part, or you can directly, for example, drawer, double click to the front and try to search for the different elements. And also some of the, if you happen to find this panel design in here, even you can just try to draw your preference. For example, you can directly using the line, the panel design here at the endpoint. So you can get it controlled. You can get this controlled. The default setting you see here. Once you click that, it's the midpoint. And then you can control, for example, you can leave 300 or 280, let's say. Here as well, continue at other point, 280. Yeah, and then you can have the midpoint. You just directly need to drag and then add up more, turn it back. See? So you can also control with the dot and drawing. Okay, click complete. Manually to draw. But also I find that if you're searching for the concave, you can even to control, directly get this controlled by the parameter. Yeah, once you double click, you can do with the advanced index to control. Hope you can see that you can see the stream current bitrate. But the bitrate is not so smooth. Yeah. So something is still available to help to solve. So you have several different usage to try. Okay, and this will be some of the elements. Yeah, of course, the best way, for example, if you really insist with the color, with the certain details, you do better to create in the backend, the backstage, using the parameter editor. Okay, and also the second question is about if you want to upload some pictures for using in this kind of tool. Of course you can do it, but just make sure you already paid attention about some copyrights, right? If you want to use it, and you can upload in the backstage, it's fine in our tool. But the using, okay, just pay attention about some of the using authorities. And then here comes our main topic. I believe some of you already wait for that for quite a long time. How can we build out something like this? Okay, the curve, the angle, the area with the angles. So actually, if you want to build up the island, right? Sometimes it feels like it's a kind of easy issue, but actually in our tool, you need to separate into two different parts. First is the default one with the cabinet, and also even with the sink or the faucet. Okay, they are the default setting. But another issue is that you need to handle with the curve, right? The curve area. Even sometimes we see these, okay, these are the finishings. They are not something what we call the normal model, okay? And with the curve, with the angles. So how can we handle with that? And this time, I think I need to help you to separate them into two parts. Okay, first for the finishings, and here I would like to share another new thinking here, another new thinking about our uh, advanced finishing skills. So once if you can't figure out how can we directly have that result in one surface, for example, floor, ceiling, wall, right? Sometimes we draw that, we just use the orthogonal to like the extrusion to shape that. So they are very basic floor, ceiling, walls. But if like this, something like this, you see, with certain curve, How can we handle with that? You got these certain curves. So what you need to do is think from another side. Why can't we just have from the top or the bottom, right? This can be easily solved by something we call the section drawing. Okay, using some section drawing in the tool is really easy. For example, just floor editor or ceiling editor. Yeah. What you need to do, let me show you. Let's turn to the ceiling or to the floor. It's okay. So I turn to the both. So you can see, for example, floor. If you want to have something curved in curved line, you can use the curve, or you can use the shape, okay, polygon, and even the circle or wall. Yeah, you can using these to try to help, right? And click and draw. You can form out some different shapes. Nowadays, we even have the olive shape, the oval. You can directly draw something. But if you want, you can use the curve. Yeah, for the curve line, it's easy. You can just click and make it smooth. And for example, for the default shape, first you can roughly to draw out one of the area, and then the second, draw the curve. For example, here I just roughly draw out the shape and hope that you it will to help for you. For example, first you can form out this area, or you can just leave it, okay, using this one, click the curve line, and then leave a gap. If you don't know, you can using this add guideline to tell you, for example, many purpose to leave 60. The thing is, okay, and then using the curve line here as well to cut the curve. And drawing the curve, sometimes it just requires your moving on your mouse. For example, just moving smooth to this point. You see here, actually, I just need to put my mouse, well, just placing at the end point. You find it's really hard to control. But once you move your mouse left a little bit, let's say, you can see actually we have a smooth curve line, right? This will be really easy to do that. And of course, if you want to have some connection, for example, with the same exact size, you can place, okay, you can place the line here, for example, 350, sorry, maybe need a more, 600, yes, and here as well, 600. Now, in order to form out a proper position, okay, using the curve line, and here as well, 50, here, 50. And then curve line from dot to dot and just move left a little bit, okay, tiny bit, change it. And of course, you can type in number, for example, 155. Okay, make it proper. And now continually drawing, you can directly switch to the straight line. Yeah, now still the lines are connected. And here, change it again, back to curve, endpoint to endpoint, 155. Okay. Now we finish drawing, click this useless line and delete. And also about this area, if you really want, you can also continue using the curve. My preference is using the curve. Okay, sometimes if you want, you can try holding down the shift button to just control make it chamfer. But my preference using the curve, click and click. And now form out a little, okay, a little angle, let's say 25. Because we leave the 50 here the same, click, click, 25. And then of course don't forget to delete the useless line, here the same, Now you can form out this and click set with extrusion. If you want the entire shape, okay, set extrusion equals to the level. Now you can have this, okay, you can have this kind of shape. And similar uh, with the constructions, you can also use the shape, continue using the curve, even to draw with some different, you see. But just pay attention when you're drawing, pay attention about the connecting point, okay? Just make it smooth. In order to make it smooth, put your mouse just near it. And then also try to get it very smooth, watching here the connection, the jointing point, to make sure that it's smooth enough. Okay, I just roughly get a drawing, and now you can see actually we form out some of the shapes. And of course, sometimes you feel like, okay, so if we finish the drawing, but how can we control the elements? Okay, if you really try this tool before, you can have the elevation. You see here, for the elevation part, if you can find out the proper solutions like the tiles or stones, most of the time maybe what you use for the stones, click, put, right? Yeah, it is fine for one, but if you want for more, duplicate, okay? Duplicate to all of it, and you see, now it's fine. But that's still not the end. I believe some of you will feel like, okay, how can we find out that if we want uh, the connecting faces that join together? It's not now break them apart. So how can we do that? Actually, if you want, you can also control this one to using our material component. Turn it here. Yeah, in this tool, in material component, you can directly see the exact result. At this moment, first click, it won't show anything. You need to double click. Now you got the connect faces. Yeah. Using the connect faces to give you, let's say, continue surface. Here, I can continue to that. Remember, double click to activate that. Okay, double click. And you see, yeah, here I just leave it on purpose. It's not connected, but this area it's all connected. I can also show you with that stone. For example, with this one. See, now it's really obvious. See, they are all joined together, right? Even this time, if you want, you can add a paving to see how exactly it goes. This is the added paving. The thing from uh, another view is not only just about one level of the editor, floor, wall, or ceiling. This time, borrowing. Of course, in this tool, this material and component, this tool, you can also use this kind of tool like a rectangle, polygon, the arc to draw more edges. And even this moment, you see, actually, if you use this, it's more smooth. Yeah. But the key thing is that maybe you got to know how to use some uh, custom moldings. Yeah. This is something related to the skills. But overall, it's still available for us to form out some different shapes and the connecting faces. Something like this is as well. You can either use the ceiling to set the extrusion, not to 2.8 meter, not to the entire height of the level of the height, but you can just set with like the 1.2 meter, right? And then you can also have that shape as a similar operation ways. And also, if you're using this tool, it will be much easier for you to use. I just show you with step. For example, you can just draw. At this moment, you can use the chamfer or holding down Shift button to just select. You see, just the selection. Just select these two and then get a chamfer. You see the chamfer goes uh, 180, let's say. Here as well, holding down shift button, chamfer 180, and then go. Drag, and you can also format like this. Yeah. For the rest part, if you can find out the chimney hood, you can just directly make it step inside. Yeah, settle them inside in bed, and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, the extreme situation happened. Maybe you just need to, for example, get the midpoint to draw some of the shape in order to, okay, to give a position, right? Or you just need to, for example, maybe they use this line using the push and pull. Then you can also form out something. Yeah. Finally, holding down shift button, directly connect faces, right? Or if you can't do it, you can group. But my preference, I prefer use connect faces independently with the button. And now you can put the different material. See, they are all connected. Okay, they are all connected. So this will really do help for you, okay, to form out this. But the key thing comes here. You see, what if it happen if I want to draw this? At this moment, my suggestion, we don't use this one. Why? Because you have to use the tool based on the customize, right? We, for example, using the kitchen bath here, just roughly show you uh, with the public catalog. I just use the public catalog in order to show you some of the basic the views. Okay, so just roughly show you that one of that, and this, for example, normal. It's not showing. Maybe the internet is slow. But it's fine. At least I can have the outer frame. Okay. So let's say we have this basic, right? We have this basic constructions of the material. Okay. Holding down shift button, get it controlled and group, and rotate it to the back. This is the basic shape of the island. And now, if you want to, okay, if you want to control to form these boundaries, some of our users they said, can we just directly use the auxiliary, for example, using the countertop or shelves, especially they want to use some of the countertop to form out, for example, by using this, yeah, with the chamfer edge, yeah, the arc countertop, and they want to use the orient to put and control. I just show you some of the index. See here, the art control. They have the radius different. Okay, difference. If you turn to 0, you may see here. See, yeah, indeed, it does contain the controlling functions. Sorry, not this one. The second one will be the second radius will be bigger. Let's say 150 or 180, something like this one, and then make them big. The rest two they may turn to 0 like this, and then with the different joint here, even to drag to get a really big one. Okay, so the thinking is excellent. Okay, the key challenge now is raise up. You know, for this is the material issue. You will see here actually for the chamfer. Sometimes if you use this way, uh, if you just don't want to take care about the material it's fine. But you see, actually, with that, with this kind of arc, okay, the arc corner, it will turn to a really huge challenge. How about the material? Okay, once you turn to, for example, some of the material, okay, it's all if it is available for the selections. Sometimes, for example, the pure material, pure white, okay, there's no pattern, and it's fine. If there's no pattern, it's fine. But sometimes, if something happen with like this, yeah, it will be a huge challenge. It will be really a huge challenge. So my suggestion, uh, it depends on what you want to use. The pure color is fine. The pure color, you can just ignore that using this, and even by this kind of a combination, you can directly using the countertop generating and then to do that. But if you happen to miss some of the with the patterns, I'm not really suggest you to do this. We will need the help of the custom modeling. That will turn to another issue or your requirement from your side. Okay, so this one, just duplicate another to here and changing different parameters, changing these four, 1 2 3 4. Okay, changing that, and then in the middle you put one, and it's fine. But here, if you want to have with the pattern, with the marble pattern, with a different element, you the better ask here for help, the custom modeling. Now this time I will show you with the custom modeling. So this tool here, this tool, you will see we have so many different uh, basic models you can definitely use, and also it shares almost the same logic. See, drawing some rectangle, circle, polygon, yeah, they are all basic. Yeah, and here the key thing, okay, I changed to material with the wireframe. Now you can see clear, and then also here you can see once you put any element, you see, it's available. The customized issue are available. The boundary are available for the recognizing. So it will really do help for our next step. So first, to mark out the boundary using this rectangle. Yeah, in custom modeling, mark out the boundary. It's very essential for this step. Okay, it's very essential. And then the second, using the offset. See, now we need to use the offset to mark out the area that contains the entire curved island. So what you need to do is set. For example, now I still set here. You see the offset. Okay, here the offset with the numbers, okay, is within it. If it is minus, which means set to the extent, so minus still 350, let's say we mark out the boundary, and then using the line you can directly draw. Yeah, or it's auto snapped, don't worry, it's auto snapped to the boundary. This one certainly we won't need it. And inner also you can delete. Well, you can draw from the button. It's fine. It's okay. And now you can directly use this. Okay, use this bevel 2D, holding down the shift button, select, and just pay attention. Before we use this chamfer, the bevel, okay, actually the same name. If you use this one in our floor editor, ceiling editor, it's directly with the smooth boundary. But here we have the edges, which means the system have to cut them into really precise numbers. You see, so here the number of the small edges, you need to change. You need to change them, okay? Change to maximum 60. But if your computer or your device is not that strong, that not that the calculation is not that smooth, not that fast, you can turn around to 40 to 45. It's enough. Okay, it's enough. For my side, okay, I save it for 45. And then the size, the maximum size is due to your short edges. So see here, the short edge, the maximum is around the 900 millimeter. So I don't have to make it really big. Still, 300, let's say get 300 is enough. Okay. Also, you bring this, okay, bring the same data here, 300. And now you don't have to worry about the edges 45 remain the same. Use the table. Using table button to switch. Okay. And end up with enter. Now you can have the basic shape. Continually drawing, push and pull. Of course, you can just draw to the same size. I remember it's around 180, something like this. Yeah. And then you can have that proper result. Okay. Do again. Quick button, push and pull, or P. Okay. 780. Okay. And actually for here, still that's not enough because if you want, you can continue drawing. Actually from the picture, it shows still there's a gap and the countertop. You can just draw again. But this time we need to stop here. We need to stop the first level. Okay. And continue here. You can using push and pull, give them back, let's say 100. Yeah, the 100 actually stopped with the button and still shows the foot line. Sorry, shows the foot. And what you need to do is actually still borrow it using the here using the offset. Okay, mark out. For example, you mark out the boundary is here, and then still push and pull 100. Click, go 100. Sorry, 100. Okay. So actually first you finish the outer area and the inner, what you need to do, you don't need to draw it again. You just need to use the line to turn it back, turn this angle back. If you want, you can delete the duplicate line. This is the some shape that duplicate. And then even this time directly push and pull. For example, now I just need to push 80 or something. So you don't have to put all of it. Yeah, putting the different dimension actually. What you see here, push and pull is just putting some dimensions. Okay, and finally we finish here. And then for the upper area, the same logic. You can also using this. Okay, to keep the boundary back. Later we will handle with this one. For example, you can just directly draw the boundaries, or just click here, view with 2D. Yeah, drawing in 2D will save a lot of time. For example, you can just draw here, draw the boundary, and delete, right? And turn back into the roaming or overlook. So it will goes, okay, it will go, still goes along with it. Still click that and delete and use this boundary, the duplicate lines. Now, if you want, you can continue to hook up, right? But still, that's not the end because actually we do have another gap using the offset. Give a very small gap, for example, just around 40, and then still push and pull out a bit. Very thin is around 10 or 15. Okay, and then here, this time I prefer using this function, click and duplicate. Using this duplicate will help me directly to have the gap. Meanwhile, I can delete the useless line, and you see, actually, what I need is just to have the shape back, the bottom shape back. Yeah, continue using Coohom pool. Finally, to fully cover and done. I'm not sure if you can see. Right. If you happen to see there that there's a gap, it's fine, don't worry. See, if there's a gap, using the line, draw it. Yeah, draw the line and it will fix. And also don't forget the 15 here. This go up 15. It's enough. It's all finished. See. Yeah, now we just finished to get this shape, but still the pattern. The key thing is about the pattern and on the chamfer, okay, the chamfer corner. So how can we do it? Just pay attention here, holding down shift button, select, okay? Select those front surface and you have this the same connect faces. If you ever use this function in the material component, you will have the solution. And now, see, we can use the material library. We just use some, for example, using the stone, okay, the marble, let's say, click and put, okay, click and put. Okay, here maybe it's more obvious. Yeah, change it with the really precise. Okay, this one is really obvious. You see, the default setting here with the boundary with the edges is really looking not so nice, right? How can we solve that problem? Most of our user may think, okay, I just give up. I just need to disconnect and then make it changing. But just pay attention, even if you disconnect that, you see, if you want them continue, it's really hard, right? So undo it. Here I show you, just changing the mapping is fine. You see, for the mapping, the default setting is cube, which definitely will find out one border between this curved surface. So what you need to do is changing them into the sphere. Okay, sphere or Cinderella is okay. Okay, these two. And now you can see actually it really does the connection. See here, we have the connecting. Here we also have the connections. And even here, if you use the mapping editing, you can see a huge ball just goes around it. And even at this moment, you can control by rotate the different angle. See, the only requirement is that when you upload or the default of the material, it shows with the seamless stitch, okay, status. What is seamless stitch? It means it connected with all the dimensions. You see, in different dimensions, it's all connected and it's fine, can be used. Okay, so just pay attention about that function. I just make it reset. Yeah, as you see, the beautiful pattern, they are all connected. The same same using for others, you can continue using with that. And still here, we can keep a proper using of the different elements. Of course, you just need to continue using that. It's fine. So hope that this will solve your requirement. Yeah. But if you have this kind of cuttings, there's no way, no other way. You just need what you need to do is just to changing it. Okay, changing with the proper position because uh it's disturbed. Okay, break up in this point. So you better changing with the proper, or what you need to do is just to first give the proper connection and then just break that. So by using this, it will be help. It will be helpful, I think, for you to create this okay similar uh, patterns and then with the curved angles. Okay. How about if the text is wood instead of a marble? It's the same. Actually, for the let's see for the wood, yeah, some of the material is really uh be well defined. You see, be very well defined with the connect faces, but some maybe not. So just pay attention about it. Yeah. I'll just make it disconnect and continue again. Increase with the wood and change into the sphere. See, actually it's connected. It's fine. And also change. But most of the time, just remain in the vertical pattern is fine. Don't change into whole, into the other angle. Normally, yeah, like this. Okay. So this will be some helpful for you. Okay. And continually, we also have some similar questions related to the using here. I remember uh, find it easier way to find which path coordinate that's colliding. Maybe, okay, maybe if you use the kitchen bath, I show you one of the functional tool. Yeah. The key thing is that try to first, okay, try the first using the snap model, lateral of bump, adaptation as well, and also a size limitation because I need to customize. So I just using this click off. Yeah, because if not, just now what I try with the countertop, it will be show with the certain big huge thickness. But if here, if you use normally, if you use some of the pudding elements, yeah, you just let the system to get out of snap. If it really happened with some collidings, for example, holding down control, the control button, yeah, the collidings it will show like this, right? And also some of the logic showings, maybe, for example, you have the cut corner of the corner unit. But if you put to the column, the logic of the shape of the frame, yeah, it's definitely collide. The column, the cut corner collided with the column or the flue, but still it's not reasonable because the model itself already avoided, right? I just show you that in order to let you know but it's kind of, the logic barrier is not your fault. It's not your error, okay? And also it's not the system's error. It's just some logic, okay? It's the logic gate. For example, with the base unit, the corner, corner, sorry, stitching. This one, for example, see, as you see here, Yeah, the system already helps you to avoid it, but logically speaking, it is the some colliding between the parametric model and the fluid, right? But still, it's reasonable. And the last thing is that if you want to put some of the elements, sometimes, for example, it is moreover with the maybe wall unit or tall unit rather than base unit. Yeah, and if you want to make it in a proper position, in a proper angle, I suggest what you need to do is try to use the orient, the place model. Okay, I just roughly to show you that play with the orient. And maybe even sometimes I heard that some of you have some double, okay, uh, double row, something, for example, to going up, but it's really hard to put. You just need to use the orient to place. Yeah. Maybe it will do help, especially when you want to have the different shape, different combined unit. And also sometimes, even something like this, we also not suggest you use the orient, but also with this. You see, holding down shift button, multi-selections, and then you have align and adaptation. Adapt with the width, align to the center, okay, adapt with the, for example, still continue using adapt with the depth. See, even this time you don't have to do the really hard work for the drag or drop. You just need to use this. Okay, double select the multi-select by using shift button. Yeah, this will be really helpful for you. So just pay attention about this. Okay, and besides that, there will be some if you really with the arrow with some of uh, the parameter issue. For example, turn to the kitchen, and yeah, if I really turn to make a purpose, something really big like that, you will see that exists three arrow, and you can check with a view, and you can click that view to see. You see something actually, if it is in mistake, you can see here door panel, changing that, and you can just change accordingly. Sometimes some of the error happen is not related to your operation. It's just related to some models in enterprise catalog, maybe from the creation issues. But this will be fine for you. You can just ask about the question. You can raise the question to your admin account or even to us, and we can, if this is really the thing, we can help you to check and to see if it is available for the adjust or something really in need of the changing. So just pay attention. Okay, pay attention about the notice here most of the time. And if you want, you can also see here, you can have the different the historic. Okay, these are the historic notice. Yeah, it will also shows, but you can click changing to see which kind of the uh, mistake they are. And finally, let me check for more. Mm, Still turn to the custom, okay, and then we will turn to the some case, okay, just over the exterior. Uh, the snap feature is not as possible. It's hard to detect a corner or midpoint. Okay, so I think the custom modeling part, sometimes you see Okay. Sometimes, if you want, if you want, my suggestion is not to use the move. I know some of you really want to really prefer to use the movie, but in my opinion, I really suggest that if you want to duplicate something, sorry, if you want to really put some elements into a proper position, my suggestion is using the copy. Yeah, because copy you can figure out exactly what the status in midpoint, in the area, in endpoint, and in the dot. But if you're using the sorry, if you use the movement, it's hiding. It's hiding away by the mouse. So sometimes it's really hard to see. You see here, when I click, I'm not sure if I have the right position. So sometimes it really cause some mistake. So try to use the duplicate, the copy. It will be better. Yeah. At least you can see where your mouse is if it is touching to the endpoint to the position. So just pay attention about this. Okay. So here is about some movements, and we can't edit or remove specific parts from existing model, which limits flexible. Okay. Uh, Here I show you something really interesting. In my personal using experience, I know some of you really prefer some models. Let's say here I give you a sample, especially for a set of model. Let's say here. Okay. So, for example, if you really prefer, okay, this kind of set, but you don't want this sofa. So here is a kind of, since this is a kind of set sofa, and it uploaded with as a combination, right? It's uploaded as a combination, group of the combination. You can't change it. So if you really insist, here's my suggestion using the material editor. Yeah. In material editor, we are not talking about just to change material. Sometimes you can just make them disappear in this tool. But what you need to do is to have a kind of, okay, a kind of real-time material. It's called air. It's called air. And once you see it disappeared, render. Now take a quick preview. Yeah. This kind of a material like the air is disappeared. You can hardly see them. Just pay attention because these are the same material, so it still also go with it, disappear with the sofa. So you can using this. Okay, in render it's hardly can be see, almost nothing there. So uh, you can see like this, right? And how can we have this kind of material? Actually, you can turn to the real-time material editor. This is the quick access. Yeah, the real-time material editor. And actually, you can use the glass. Okay, the really transparent material. Yeah, it's glass, right? The pure white glass. So we can turn to the glass mirror, the white glass. Okay, and when you see this a kind of a ball, right? That's the model, and you can also click the ray tracking. Why we can see that is because we have not only the reflection but also the refractions, right? And the refractions here is 1.6. So if you turn to 1, it will definitely turn to of course almost transparent. Yeah, turn to 1. And now you can see to see if here is disappeared. Okay, and still you can have the reflection. Of course, for the reflection, you can, for example, to turn to the color. See, if you want it to disappear, select pure black. Yeah, flashing ghostness, also black, and now almost disappear. See, here is because due to the upper light. That's fine, but at least it's almost gone. So you can use this kind of skills. Actually, bump 0, okay, and or everything turned down. Don't change the first step, okay. So now we can see actually it's pure, almost disappeared. And what you need to do is just save that, save it with the name, and then catalog, turn to furnish. Remember, turn to furnish, and it's fine. You can using this kind of way to change. It's just kind of a game. Play with the playing with the index. Okay, so just make sure you have the ability, you know the way. Okay, for glasses we have the ray tracking. Okay, the ray track. If you turn it off, it just relax. Actually, it's disappear. So I think so far it's good, right? And finally, I think I just need to show you this. Okay, some of you ask about if we can do some decors. We can create not only the inner but outer. Actually, for this kind of um, constructions, of course, yes, we can, but still you need some of the skills. Okay, so still here. I just get a new one. Okay, so ideally speaking, my suggestion for this kind of outdoor design, especially you have the different shape, uh, the distinct thinking is directly using the different levels, right? You just need to use the level changing, level new upper level, changing that. You can directly get started with the bottom. For example, you have the different areas. This is go within insert. Okay, the insert area, and then with the outside garden, small garden. So what you need to do is just analyze. It's just analyze that, and then to give a proper result. For example, here you have a small one, a big one, and then you have the boundaries. So what you need to do is just to draw it, right? This is the room, and this might be the garden. And the garden you see here, you can customize without no ceiling, right? Changing is that, okay? And even here you can separate. Holding down shift button, custom the height. Okay, go to whatever you want. is the exterior. Of course, you can use the custom modeling to draw something, but still the basic area almost remain like this. Or even if I want to change with the certain uh, changing with that, it's fine. And then what you need to do is just stay with the boundary of both left and right, and then get a new upper floor. Okay, for the new upper floor, this time you just need to delete this area. Okay, first delete that, delete this one, right? And then let me check. Yeah, here set the level extrusion, right? And here remains the same, with the same level, and maybe go over. Now we are in the second level. Don't worry, we're in the second level, and then still new upper, continue new upper, and then you can have some more like the settle to extrusion with more areas. Maybe more, even more, you want to put a linear bay or whatever. It's fine. You just need to change it accordingly. Yeah. And the outer shape later we will just be using the material component or even just uh the custom modeling to draw that. It's fine. Yeah. Try some of the functions that might help. Okay. I think there's a balcony, a small balcony. Then you can also continue to change. The key thing is that if you use this way, the new upper floor, the new the different levels, they they will not get bothered by each other. It's not be limited by the upper or lower. And then you can use the door opening. For example, if you want, you can continue to put. And even you see, we can have the construction railings directly to have. So holding down the control button, force them to be put. So take a look at the 3D, right? Okay, higher. So actually you can do it. You can really do it. It's not hard, not so hard. And finally the same, right? To create. And if you want to see the entire level, you can click here to show the whole. Yeah. So it's really just something, some changes between the levels. And then what you need to do is just to put a certain pattern and then put some more drawings. For example, on the second floor, you need to draw out the, the, the plant pool. You can also just directly using public library, plant, using some of the elements to put it. It's nothing much, right? And you can also just the key thing is that if you want to use the drawing, for example, construction drawing, and you may need to pay attention about the position. Let's say here, if you turn to material and component, all the rest levels, they will disappear. See, they will disappear, only available to be seen by a certain boundary in a certain angle. So don't worry, actually, you can also use the rectangle to help you to mark out. First, what you need to do is just to mark out, okay? to mark out the proper position, mark out the area, and then you can also use the wave, drawing different shapes, draw out, continue drawing. You really want to put some, so you can also do like this, or using the reference line. Sometimes if you change the different angle, you will see the better. Okay. And also, if you want to draw some more, say some more component that maybe exceed the boundary, my suggestion or my best solution would be like, for example, using this boundary. But you see, now it's now if you need that over exceed, okay, exceed the size, you need to check about, you see here, table, the width actually is the height. For the width, you need to calculate, let's say, three different levels, right? Three levels, but still you need to pay attention about the thickness, the slab thickness. So let me calculate. For example, I want in total three levels. So each is 2.8 meter, right? Times three, and then plus at least let's say we have actually three different slabs. The thickness of the floor, and that's the 360. Now in total, I need 8,760. Okay, first, what you need to do is to draw out the basic. Draw out the basic basic surface, and then you turn to some more deckers. Okay, and then you turn to the decker. For example, to draw this and get more extrusion here, maybe to the dark color, mapping with the dark color, put it here, and then it's fine, right? For the other rest part, you just need to duplicate, or you just need to draw with the same uh, with the similar material to put. But of course, if you want to have a distinct view, let's say we don't want to separate them like this, we just want a very distinct result. So what you need to do is to here, let me just turn another, activate with another. What you need to do is just to create the entire area in one floor. See, first we draw the external area using this, right? Floor plan, external area, and then in this area, what you need to do is to, for example, have that very basic. Let's say here we got the basic, and then click the empty area, room height, entire room height turn to, let's say, 10,000, right? And then the key challenge turns out to be, how can we put, right? How can we put with that element of the doors and windows? So maybe what you need is just a way to put the doors and windows in the same rows, same line. For example, I just show you with the demo. For example, once if you put in the level 1, let's say we have something here in level 1, and then I want this to be put in another level, but here you see it's conflict. Even you just need a different gap, it's still conflict. What you need to do is put in the other area and then set the above ground, for example, to 2.9. We just roughly put that, and then here still click, drag and put. Now it's available now. See? So which means actually you can first to put another area, then changing the data above the ground. Let's say it's about 1.6 also and put. And even for this, it's auto snapped. So you see, actually you can do like this to control. Yeah. So just pay attention about it. But the key thing is that it really requires with at least the same level of the surface. And of course, sometimes you feel like, okay, if these two shares the same section, the same surface, same front surface, it's just different between the balcony because it has extend to the outer. Can we just draw these two level in one floor? Yes, we can do it. You can control, okay, you can control the room height in different level. You can settle the level 2, level 3 into the same level. For example, same height of this is the entire surface, and then you can draw out. You can using the just now what we used material component, using the construction to draw out some elements to shape to form out this. It's also available, and then you can create a lower and then turn different position. It's fine. It's fine. It's definitely available. The help the convenient thing issue happen when you turn to the construction. For example, here, if you want to draw any component, you can directly use. See, you can use the surface, set the extension, set a different shape to draw out the boundary that you want. I just roughly draw them. See, yeah, you can build up this. If there any difference, you can start a new level to separate them into different levels. Then you can also form a proper outer look. Okay, so this is my suggestion. These are my suggestions. If you see anything share with the same outer surface, the same elevation, you can mark them as one, okay, one same floor. And for the different, you can use the previous way. Okay, you can use the previous way to set new upper or new lower. Okay, so I think here this problem will be solved. So with the help. And then before we turn to the end, let me see. The material white glass, but how about the item shadow? Well, you can try in the random. Most of the time, actually, it's disappeared. It's disappeared. Yeah, there's no shadow there. Can you show us how to create this? The highest. Okay, you want to have the top, right? Actually, for the top is quite easy. You see, which method you want. Actually, I prefer to new. For example, just follow this. I just want a new level, mm, new upper floor. But now I limit that room height. First, of course, delete this one. Okay, and the second limit is to maybe 2.8. This one. As you see here in 2D view, I no longer have this one. They are limit. We'll turn to back quite a bit. Right? Turn back is the same. And you have actually these are you can use the construction drawing. Yeah, you can definitely use the construction drawing material component. I just did it this way. Okay, And even I can leave here. I can even use the orthogonal, leave the same boundary, see, the same boundary, and even here you see, if you want, you can also use the beam to click and create. And for the rest part, you just need to use the material component. Drawing out. Let me check. Yeah, it's connected with the same thickness. And then drawing out the shape. For example, drawing out this. Just roughly, okay, roughly drawing with the surface. Check about here, maybe just some certain deckers or some other issues is fine. Even if you want, you can just use this. See. Check. Mhm. Okay, something like this one. Here, maybe what you need is just okay. So still use the same theory. For example, here offset more and duplicate point to point. Finally, and then put the element, put those material you want. Here, even this time, I just need to use some of the material. Let me show you something. For example, to the public library constructions, I remember I have some ceilings, some ceiling elements. Even if I want to save my time, let's see. They are some normal models. What I need to do is just make them listen to my order. Even with that, quite a lot of complicated using still available. Let me see. This question. Mm, This one? Okay. Good question. So here, let me help you with the logic, okay, analyzing. So still use the three level. Level 1, level 2, level 3, right? Three levels. And construction drawing, this You can use the custom modeling or material editor. It's fine. The outer is still the same. Yeah, yeah, it's still the same. And for this, you can directly use the construction drawing. Actually, the main shape, okay, the exactly same main shape is here. Let me just actually draw. This area, same front surface. This area, almost the same, but with the extrusion, you just use the construction drawing. Yeah, to just set the extrusion is fine. And these may not be the same. This, I think it's not the same, right? There's some with the extrusion. And here, the two, these two, you see, exactly with the same. So still here is the same. Yeah. And now you can use the duplicate. For the outer area, actually the wall, you can just analyzing about the walls. These wall, if they're same, you can directly use. Yeah. So still, you can just create a lot lower. If you want to create this, it's nothing more but just to uh, change in level 3. Okay, the level 3 here, you just need to make them shrink, make this surface different, turn it turn it back and make a small room, and the outer area using the custom modeling or just basic drawing is fine. Okay, I'm not sure if here solved the problem. And any more questions? Yeah, there's no more questions. I think I can remember the room that you provide. This one, the room, basic room, and then here another room. This I first will help you to draw out the level 2, something like this one. Yeah, something like this, right? It's a different extrusion. And then in level 3, what you need to do is the new upper, and then just limit its size. See, limit the size, and you see they're shrinking, and you see here shrink, and this area it disappear, and here just the normal. Yeah, just stay with the normal. This one you don't have it. I believe this one you don't have it as well. Yeah, there's nothing, it's empty, it's just with this. Okay, and then show all floors. So see, you see the construction, the basic construction, it shows like this. And then what you need to do is just material and component. Still stay in level 3, the highest level. And then using the rectangle. First, of course, to draw out the very basic, ceiling, and then give an extrusion, directly drag, for example, to give 1000 and more. Yeah, actually it's a big flat string, and then what you need to do is just draw that. Now, let me get a quick return. And then just draw it out. Set extrusion. Using some material, using some 3D models. And then finally, here, we just need to settle this almost, yeah, the same with the same thickness as the gap shows. 2.8, yeah, and 2.8. It's just something like this, right? And finally, give the different material as well. And I think it's fine. Don't need too much. Still, you can see the result. Maybe just have more over within it, but still, the main construction is appear. Okay. So if you don't have any other questions, I think it's fine till now. Uh, and I think it would be helpful to help you. Okay. And hope next time I can see your more challenge questions and then I can help you to analyze that. Okay, that's all for today and hope you can try the new functions and try to bring the different, more complicated designs and construction. Okay, thank you and see you next time.